Travis Wingoodall. Final church news of the week, right before 9/11. And this year it's special because it's the last year of the latter days. It's too bad Mormons don't believe it. Too bad. They're Latter-day Saints. It's in the title of the name. And they don't believe it. Because Monson said no, and Irene said another 3 generations away. 3 generations. Not now. Nope. Because you can't know of it. It's got to happen, and then you're going to be surprised, and then you're going to scream in horror. You think Nazi Germany was cool and hip until you actually are the victims. It's coming. It's coming. Bloodbath 2024. Pick your coup. You decide. So, Holland, again causing waves. This time he's not doing a video. He's doing an audio with Sherry Dew, 48 minutes. And for those of you who know Mormonism, it requires that you study the scriptures, that you know the doctrine and how it's different to other religions. You can't just go, we're Christian too. We're just like you. Join our church and pay the church money. Got to get rebaptized. But we're just like you. God, that's why they send little kids out on missions. Because they're stupid. So, he says, and it's in quotes, it's on the church news, you can see for yourself, I'm not making this up. I've been doing this for years. If you're not following me, it's your fault. Or YouTube's fault. Take your pick. Keep the faith you have. Really? I thought we were supposed to turn it into knowledge. Anybody who knows their Book of Mormon knows this. It's both in Alma chapter 32 and Ether. I think it's chapter 3. You're supposed to render your faith dormant. You're supposed to have faith no more. And here he is, false doctrine alert, from a living prophet of Jesus. Keep the faith you have. In other words, we gave you the word. Don't find out if it's true. Faith without works is dead. Seed without fruit is dead. We will liken the word unto a seed. You got to grow the seed. He just told you right there. Are you illiterate? Keep the faith you have. Trying to warn you to save your lives, Mormons. And all you do is argue from a position of stupidity. You cannot be saved in ignorance. You've heard that from Sunday school, from somewhere. Maybe seminary. You have no idea that it's from section 130 or 131. We can check. I don't memorize. It's been a while since I've referenced it. Verse 6, it is impossible for a man to be saved in ignorance. Mormons aren't men. What are you, a Mormon or a mouse? Is there another option for me, please? And then he continues, he's already lied to you, and now he's expanding upon his false doctrine. Remember, this is the same guy who said that porn is equivalent to COVID. That if you're LGBTQ, you need to be shot by a musket. And then there's the whole Harvard incident. Why are you not dead yet? He's a zombie. We're all doomed. Answers will come by just keeping the faith, huh? Not producing the results of the faith to render the faith dormant. Faith no more. That would be your answer. That's knowledge. And here he is lying to you. Keep the faith you have. Answers will just magically come. Don't produce the fruit. You'll get your answers. And gifts will be given without the fruit. They also call this blessings without the fruit. It's your feelings. And we will sort it out. Wow, I just covered this in a video the other day. This is the abusive doctrine of kill them all and let God sort them out. We'll find out when we're dead. If it's important to know, the living prophet of Jesus will tell us, and he just said, nope, not going to tell you. And we will make it. This is abominable doctrine. This is how you enslave people. Catholic Church has been doing it for a long time, since they broke off from the Holy Roman Empire when its collapse occurred with the great Orthodoxy split. Yep. You thought Daniel's interpretation about the iron feet of Rome mingled with clay was something other than Christianity? That somehow the rock that destroys it is not the Jews. Jews are going to replace you, Christians. And his name is Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon. Dun, 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 dun. Star Wars, Superman, they're Jewish. The Force is not Christian. The Jedi are not Christians. Hilarious. See, that's what happens when you are not knowledgeable in your own religion. You can't just coast through your religion. You can't be a lazy learner and a lax disciple. After telling the people you're the Antichrist at the pulpit of conference. And so, Nelson likewise is doing the same thing that Holland did to the young adults. Young adults react. It's a reaction video on YouTube. Oh, that's unique. I want to be an influencer and do reaction videos. Oh my God. Oh my God. Breaking news, reactions. What happened? I want to know what people's reactions are. What happened? Reaction to what? What's the news? Tell me the news. To President Nelson's Council on Labels and Identifiers. Book of Mormon talks about this. Oh my God. Helaman chapter 3, verse 16. After talking about there have been many books and many records of every kind, and they have been kept chiefly by me. They've been handed down from one generation to another over the years of the latter days, until Mormons have fallen into transgression and have been murdered on 9/11 or the bloodbath 2024, plundered, hunted, driven forth, and slain and scattered upon the face of the earth, and mixed with the heathens, until they are no more called the Nephites, becoming wicked, wild, ferocious, yea, even becoming Lamanites. Oh dear God. Yeah, I'm a little late on the laundry today. And there's another one also. Okay, those are the distinguishing labels. See, yeah, here in 4th Nephi 1:36, after doing away with labels because of Jesus' second coming to America, he had a second coming to the Christians with Roman Emperor Constantine. He had a second coming to Muhammad. And now he's got a second coming to the Americas. Are we sure there's another second coming? Why are there 4 second comings? What's going on? Why didn't he show this year? And it came to pass in that year there were people who were called the Nephi, were true believers in Christ. There were those who were called by the Lamanites, Jacobites, Josephites, and Zoramites. And Jesus was angry with those nicknames. So yeah, the labels were done away with and then they're brought right back. Label making is evil. We are human. All of us. Human. And if you try to label people, you then create segregationalism. Even if it's separate but equal segregationalism being resurrected from the dead of the Civil War by the deep state Dems. Whereas the other label makers have always been the label makers of MAGA, Fox, News. And so, yeah, this is what he did. Keep the faith you have. Have faith in what we tell you to believe. Do not produce the results. And so this is a reaction, not testimonials even. Yeah, the church did away with testimonials, but they don't do testimonials anymore. Because the world's testimonials, from where the church stole it from, was exposed as segregationalist and lies to con people out of money. So, yes, this reaction thing that's going on all over the nation on social media is simply another psychological manipulation to trigger your emotions rather than provide you with factual details, knowledge of truth. It's to rile up the mob, and both sides of the extremities are pulling it on their followers. And so if you're a deep state Dem, oh no, America's going to fall if you don't vote for Kamala Harris. Everything fell under Biden. Women, you lost your rights under Biden. The border, for all of those who are not white, male, rich, yes, you lost your rights under Biden. Should we go on and on this? LGBTQ, IAPO+, you lost your rights under Biden. And yes, it was by MAGA. Trump's getting away with his crimes under Biden. The enemy who couped America are getting away with it and forming more coups under Biden. Are you not catching the pattern? And Kamala Harris, as a prosecutor, was soft on crime. No duh! We're all doomed. Because now they're panhandling, threatening you to vote for them, or we're gonna what? Lose more of our rights when you get voted in anyway? Again, choose your coup. You decide, America. ABC, I think that's their logo for videos on the news. You decide, 2024. Reaction to how things are going to be. And that was Harris's convention. It was all hype up of feelings and reactions. Yay! You know, MAGA did the same thing. Hulk Hogan, yeah! J.D. Vance! I love couches! Is that going to be added as a letter to LGBTQ people? Is it C? Or is that already taken by computers? Dear God, you guys are getting screwed up. Stop it! Stop it! And just when we thought that the Speaker of the House sharing his porn with his son was bad. Hey son, nice one. Look what I found. Wow, cool dad. You're the best dad ever. They want to ban porn. It's just so wrong. As they're into little girls on Jeffrey Epstein's little black book. Dear God. So yeah, that's all this is. Have faith, keep it, don't produce the results, don't find out whether the word that we tell you is true or false. Just have feelings, reactions that are supposed to be positive and happy. No negative, no doubt feelings, like those ex-foes, apostates and lazy learners, fell away from the church, and having their wrong reactions. Still not based on knowledge, by the way, guys. Don't think you're out of the woods. And so, then the church is talking about the growth of the church since Heber J. Grant. Why not Joseph Smith? Why not Brigham Young? Why Heber J. Grant? It's the picture. Got a picture. Pretty picture. At the bottom, in 1924. Who's the one that broke it to you? Who's the one that's been doing over 4K videos, many of which included it since I found it? Has to do with articles of incorporation. Why would the church need to incorporate when Brigham Young did it in 1852? And why is it not the same name? Because you're not listening to my channel. You've not been following me. You think you know better. You're offended. Your reactions are wrong. Because you're not producing knowledge and rendering your faith no more dormant, like a volcano. And so, October 1924 General Conference was the first to be broadcast over the radio. Heber J. Grant served from November 1923 until 1945. Error alert. And he's not number 7, number 1. Oh, they still lie and cover it up. So when did Joseph Smith's church begin? And so when did Joseph Smith serve from? We all know it's 6 April 1830, right? So what's wrong with this? Brigham Young incorporated the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in 1852. It means it's not Joseph's church from 6 April 1830. And if this, which the Articles of Incorporation say it's the corporation, yeah, it's not a church. What happened to the church? What happened in 1887 that got John Taylor locked up in prison where he died, as the dog he is, for murdering Hiram? Yeah. It's when you start the church. So he didn't start the church in 1918. The church didn't exist anymore. Wright Wilford Woodruff, verse 11 in Official Declaration number 1. It did not get incorporated as the corporation until 1923. And so April 1924 was his first general conference. That means we just had the 100th general conference of the corporation. And if you read the Articles of Incorporation, I've been doing the videos, you could have looked at the pretty pictures. You would know you're the cash cows, Mormon. They just collect money from you. You have no say, you have no authority. That's it, because there is no religion anymore. Bye-bye. You're cash cows. Can you all say moo, boys and girls? Very good. And so, yes, they lie about the number of church membership. Now, they claim these are the documents we have. But Nelson, with the list of 100 plus announcements and church changes under Nelson, said that only participating Mormons are considered Mormon. Everyone else are lazy learners, lax disciples, apostates, who are to be excommunicated from the church. And so there's only a couple million. That's it. 15 million gone. So why is the church claiming 17.3 million? But then notice 1924. Once incorporated, they still had 597,861. 1924, huh? Not 1844. Not 1830. 1924. See what they're trying to do? They've been pulling this stunt every time somebody exposes a falsehood in the church's narrative about church history. Because when I was a kid, we were told Joseph Smith looked directly on the plates, and certain seminary teachers were smart enough to say that Joseph Smith had a veil between him and Martin Harris, and dictated directly from the plates to Martin Harris, who wrote out the 116 pages for the first time. Not the third time. The first time. And then all of a sudden, while I'm locked up by the Church of Jesus Christ, who ordered and paid for it, they then released The Rock in a Hat. And James Huntsman had a reaction and sued the church for tithing, and despite being a billionaire, he said that tithing was a donation and he lost his case. Dear God, you're a billionaire and you have no clue what a criminal operation is. Yeah, I'm not buying it. Daddy's little trust fund, baby. God, one hope for Mormons and he blew it. And so, yeah, this is financial fraud. When you claim numbers that do not exist. IRS needs to get involved, insurance companies need to get involved, foreign governments, as they're not registered as a foreign agent, need to get involved, especially the United States of America for not being a foreign agent. Registered. And so yes, this is deep problems, Mormons. Just because the church raised you to be a criminal doesn't mean that it's not a crime. But you believe, hey, the church is telling us it's okay. It's not a crime, therefore. And now you're seeing in the news that it's blowing up out of proportion. You've got a woman, Mormon mother, pimping out her little teen daughter. You've got murders of wives and children. And the cops are struggling. They aren't taught how to investigate crime. They rely on people being honest and confessing, so that they don't have to do any work. They're not making it easy on our police officers. Next, you'll be saying you want to defund the police since they're not investigating. It's just so sad. You watch all these TV shows about forensic investigators, and they're hot redheads, smart, intelligent, forensic investigators. They figure it out. Why can't cops? Oh, right, unions. And so, yeah, the tragedy of a mother and her 3 children found dead in a car. The cops have no clue what's going on, at least last I heard, which was this morning. Maybe they finally got somebody to confess. They're investigating. We have 3 more minutes. But, yeah, the forensic investigator, even a coroner, because we had a coroner come numerous times while I was in Gail Miller's concentration camp of hell of human trafficking, where dead bodies dropped every day from overdoses and other problems. And a coroner comes investigates, and 3 hours later knows the time of death and the cause. And since they're homeless, you can't give a cause of death because then that's more paperwork, and so he's dead, he's a John Doe, and you just cremate the body. Nobody will ever know about it. But yeah, the coroner is supposed to know this stuff. When you go to the crime scene, even though they've still got to run an autopsy, they can know the time of death, and they can know if a preliminary investigation shows that it was a murder or a suicide or an accident. And for it to go on a couple of days now with no answer, yeah, they suck at their job. They don't know their job. That's why they're investigating. So, anyway. And then finally we conclude with the big one. The church covers things up. When the church released the General Handbook, they advertised that there's new changes to the way the church is going to treat LGBTQIAPO+C. They've got to be separate but equal. They've got to include everyone. They don't include heterosexuals, though. What's up with that? And so, but they've got a separate letter, but they're all equal, separate but equal. That's segregationalism, by the way. In case you don't understand why I'm mocking it and have no clue why I said separate but equal is segregationalist policy from the Civil War, post-Civil War era. But the church, and I'm the only one who covered it because the others reacted to what they heard about it. I'm the only one who went to the church handbook firsthand and did my church news video on it. You're going to be excommunicated. They're purging you out of the church. You got suckered and losered. You thought they were building bridges and turning progressive, and then they burnt you to the ground. I mean the bridge. Just like Abinadi with that, what was it called again? Look it up. It's hilarious. White supremacists love to carry them in their hand as they chant, Jews will not replace them. God. That is hilarious, though, and the Book of Mormon exposes this. So remember, next time you see a white supremacist Christian nationalist parade in your neighborhood, laugh at them. Because they're carrying the symbol of the LGBTQIAPO+C. All part of the practical jokes of psychologists from Nazi Germany given asylum in America, thanking their American liberators from the Nazi oppression of the empire. And so, yeah, that made a big scandal. I was the only one who covered the excommunication part, though. And so listen to this. On the 100+ announcements and changes by Nelson during Nelson's reign in ministry, August 19th, 2024. Pay attention. Try to see if you can figure out what's missing. Updates to the General Handbook include directions on temple ceilings, Sunday meetings, and caring for the garment of the holy priesthood. See what they left out? They realized what a big scandal that was. And so they're purposely leaving it out. But I'd like to thank the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for releasing this before Nelson's death in the coming days, before the end of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints in the coming days. Because Holland also is quoted as saying, God is in charge. And so that list is perfect for what I was planning to do for tomorrow's video. And that's provide you with a pictorial history of the signs in the heavens, the prophecies, the revelations of the full latter days that I've been doing my videos for all these years. It's an abridgment, a pictorial abridgment. You might say a facsimile abridgment in Egyptian. And so, I lost track of what we were going to go to in the scriptures for. Oh, it's not the scriptures. Oh, you tricked me. God is in charge. And so, since God is in charge, we would expect to see something occurring that would demonstrate God's marvelous, mighty works and power upon us as the chosen ones, held in reserve for billions of years to come down to earth at this time and choose Lucifer's plan of happiness or leave and become an apostate, anti-Mormon, antichrist Korahar. You thought it was literal history. So, Joseph Smith Jr. started his ministry, remember, 6 April 1830. Didn't incorporate it, though. Death, 27th of June, 1844. Somebody assassinated him. So the curse of Joseph Smith is enacted. Because God is in charge, right? God will never allow any president of the church to go contrary to God's laws and lead Mormons astray. Right, Wilford Woodruff? Set verse 11, official declaration number 1. And so, when Joseph Smith died, on the 16th of June, 1844, there was a partial solar eclipse. On the 31st of May, 1844, there was a total lunar eclipse. There's God's being in charge method of informing Mormons who's responsible, so that you would know the curse of Joseph Smith. Brigham Young, 29th of August, 1877 is his death. And he had a double whammy for the solar eclipse. On August 9th, 1877, and then on September 7th, 1877, partial solar eclipses. On 23rd of August, 1877, in between them, was a total, and there's a little asterisk, but I do not, oh, it's a T minus, that's why, lunar eclipse. And those are astronomical terminology, designations, categorizations. Okay? And so, yeah, nobody else has this pattern. So you need to know your scriptures. preferably the Jewish law, Deuteronomy 19:16 through 19, for false accusers. Remember Abinadi was falsely accused and then burned by what? LGBTQLA, whatever the numbers are, letters. And then King Noah in like manner. So false accusers are to die in like manner. How did Joseph Smith die? With the sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven. So boom, only Brigham Young. And then John Taylor. And then Wilford Woodruff. And then Lorenzo Snow. And then Joseph F. Smith Sr. And then Heber J. Grant. And then George Albert Smith. And then David O. McKay. And then Joseph F. Smith Jr. And then Harold B. Lee. And then Spencer. I got it right. I did it in the previous video. Catch that? I got it right. Spencer W. Kimball, Ezra Taft Benson, Howard W. Hunter, Gordon B. Hinckley, Thomas S. Monson. Because the primary hymn that goes over all of these, it was after my time. And Thomas S. Monson was a fun one because he was the one that told Mormons, thanks to Chad Daybell, that nope, it's not the latter days, nothing to see here, move along. And then remember Irene? Yeah, another 3 generations, nothing to see here, move along. Oops, Monson was a big one. Revelation chapter 12 verse 4. Yay! Scriptural prophecy for Monson. Not just the sun shall be darkened, moon turned to blood, stars fall from heaven. And it was a double whammy for both. And so, yes, now this is the last year of the latter days. Nelson is on his deathbed. He's going to die in the coming days. And I'm really hoping for number symbolism that it's when he's still 99 years old and 11 months. 2 sets of 9/11. Because we've already had the baptism by water on 9th Ave. You know, the original 9/11 against the Jews. The destruction of both their temples. By Babylon and then by Rome. And now we have 9/11 coming up. Remember last year? Yep, 2 sets, 4 times for 9/11. Do you remember the 21st night in the Jewish calendar, which makes it the 22nd of November? 1823. But it's a vision, so it's not real, not literal history. That's why it's in 1838. He's teaching Mormons something about prophecy and revelation, and Mormons don't believe, and then they murdered him just like their ancestors did, and paid the Judas price to Brigham Young to have him murdered. So no, none of the Mormons who followed Brigham Young are innocent. They all paid the Judas price. That was the whole ledger that Nelson brought out before 9/11 in the Jewish religious calendar, right? Yeah, religious calendar. No, civil calendar. No, religious. Yeah. There's 2. There's a civil and there's a religious, and so I'm trying to adjust them because it's the same month names. It's just... Can't you call them a different name for whether it's religious or civil? God, make it so complicated. So yeah, last year, 9/11, Nelson fell. And then for the Jewish 9/11, the day after Thanksgiving, I did my whole video series about the ledger, the blood atonement. And this is why every single president is unauthorized. God is in charge. Right, Holland? coming days, you will see the mighty, marvelous, wonderful powers of God in charge. Because Mormons need to be compelled to believe. So have fun with that. Because the church ain't true.